Malaysia's progress, prosperity due to unity. PKR must champion its cause with honesty. Hello and good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. You're watching News on 2 with me, Amin Carlos. Now, the Shared Prosperity Vision was introduced by the government for the Rakyat, including those in the rural areas, to enable them to work together in various fields. While speaking at the opening of the local clothing and textile brand Jekyll's store in Langkawi, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said as a multiracial country, this shows the harmony between the Rakyat in enjoying prosperity and success together.
Kita ingin lihat Malaysia kita ini negara berbilang kaum. Di mana-mana juga kita akan dapati kesemua kaum bekerja, berniaga, berusaha bersama. Dalam bandar pun ada campuran semua kaum, di luar bandar pun ada campuran semua kaum. Inilah gambaran yang patut kita beri bagi Malaysia, negara kita yang berbilang kaum.
The store in Langkawi is the 22nd Jekyll branch in the country since the brand's inception 34 years ago. Jekyll is expected to open more branches in Kuching and Miri, Sarawak by next year. About 60% of the pledges made by the Pakatan Harapan during the 14th general election, the GE14, have been fulfilled. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said for now the people should give the PH government time to resolve the country's financial problems and stabilize the economy. Although it was not easy to make changes in short span of time, Lim, who is also DAP Secretary General, nevertheless assured that PH will work hard to address the financial difficulties and fulfill all the election promises.
Ya, bukan mudah. Ini saya kena terus terang dengan ahli-ahli sekalian. Bukan mudah. Kita masuk dalam satu kerajaan di mana ahli pentadbirannya sudah 60 tahun biasa dengan satu parti, satu kerajaan, iaitu Barisan Nasional. Tiba-tiba Pakatan Harapan masuk jadi kerajaan baru. Bukan senang untuk mereka sesuaikan diri. Sama juga dengan kita sesuaikan diri bukan mudah.
He said this at the opening of the 2019 Kuala Lumpur Federal Territories DAP Convention. Also at the convention, Lim reminded the DAP members who have been elected as the people's representatives to go down to the ground to explain the government's initiatives as well as to hold on to the party's cause, which was to defend the people and not to get recognition, gain ranks or status. While speaking at the closing of the 14th PKR National Congress in Melaka, Parti Keadilan Rakyat PKR Advisory Council Chairman Dato' Sri Dr. Wan Aziz Awan Ismail has reminded all PKR members to be more sincere in their efforts to restore the country's economy and to stop fighting with each other, as such action can only lead to ruins. While admitting that there were several disputes between some leaders and the party president, Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim, Dato' Sri Dr. Wan Aziza said this should not be made as an excuse to put aside the nation-building agenda, as they must continue to carry out their responsibilities and mandate given to them.
Saya ingat makcik yang datang almost kesok depan saya bagi 50 sen sumbangan kepada perjuangan ini. Saya hargai sebab itulah perjuangannya ikhlas, yang diberikan sumbangannya ikhlas. Itu yang kita mahu, ikhlas lillahi ta'ala. Keikhlasan itu tidak boleh dibeli dan tidak ada nilai harganya. Jadi kita di penghujung ini, saya terima kasih kepada semua yang dah datang, yang mahu bersama-sama. Memang kita ada perbezaan. Beda dengan Anwar Ibrahim dengan Mahathir Mohamad. Dia masuk penjara. Tetapi bagaimana kita boleh cantum kembali supaya kita memegang dan mengambil alih, dan sekarang ini kita nak buat sesuatu kerana rakyat memilih kita untuk memperbaiki negara kita, bukan bercakap sama sendiri.
Meanwhile, PKR Deputy President Dato Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali said he does not want to lead a party whose members and leaders have no quality. Well, instead, he wants to lead a party where the members are morally sound. Dato Sri Muhammad Azmin stressed that the party was not built to butter anyone, but to prioritize the agenda of reformation.
Kita bina parti ini bukan untuk mengampu. Kita bina parti ini untuk melahirkan sebuah negara Malaysia yang baru. Kita melakukan reformasi. Kita mahu melahirkan pemimpin dan bukan pengampu. Kalau nak bahas, boleh bahas.
He said this in a speech at the 2030 Shared Prosperity Vision dinner with delegates of the party's National Congress in Kuala Lumpur. Dato Sri Muhammad Azmin also expressed his regret that the PKR National Congress debate session did not touch on Shared Prosperity Vision 2030. He also called on all PKR members to move on from the past and move forward as a stronger party under the current PKR leadership. Parti Amanah Negara is confident that it can wrest back certain seats in the East Coast states in the next general election. Its president, Muhammad Sabu, said this is because more past members from Kelantan and Terengganu are expected to join Amanah in the near future.
Orang ahli PAS memang mereka dididik begitu lama tentang kebencian kepada UMNO, bahkan sampai ke peringkat dituduh dulu sampai ke peringkat kapal mengkapal. Jadi bukan mudah mereka nak terima muafakat nasional begitu mudah. Ramai di antaranya memilih untuk bersama dengan Parti Amanah.
Muhammad Sabu said this to reporters after closing the 2019 Amanah National Convention in Shah Alam yesterday. Amanah's ability to raise the number of their members has silenced their critics who doubted the ability of the party. Earlier, Muhammad Sabu said Amanah needed to be a party that solves problems and does not create conflicts. Well, coming up next, Tuba Island to be developed as rural tourism destination. While the issue of overcrowding in all prisons nationwide is expected to be addressed in 2030, and Prisons Department Director General Dato Zulkifli Omar said the department are in the midst of conducting a study to introduce the system for prisoners to serve their sentences among the community. Well, according to Dato Sri Zulkifli, the department are in the process to reform the prison system to identify ways to overcome congestion issue. Now, among the measures identified includes for the low-risk prisoners to serve part of their sentences outside jail. Now, it is estimated that two-thirds of the prisoners will be able to serve their sentences through this system by 2030. The department is in the process to reform the prison system to identify ways to overcome congestion issue. Among the measures identified includes for the low-risk prisoners to serve part of their sentences outside jail. It is estimated that two-thirds of the prisoners will be able to serve their sentences through this system by 2030.
Salah satunya ialah program probation ya. Probation ini kita kena lihat mana-mana yang perlu ditahan di luar daripada penjara. Ya, jadi kita nak melihat balik perundangan, melihat balik peraturan, yang ada banduan yang hukuman yang orang kata tidak berisiko ya. Perlu menjadi program pemulihan di dalam masyarakat.
He said this to reporters after the launch of the Malaysian Prison Department's food product and fabric marketing program in Kota Bharu. Dato Sri Zulkifli said as of now, various initiatives were being carried out, including the parole and compulsory attendance system to ease prison congestion and assist inmates to reintegrate into society. About 25 of the 38 prisons in the country are facing congestion, as it has exceeded the actual capacity of 52,850 to 74,000 inmates currently. Well, a labourer pleaded not guilty in the Kuala Terengganu Sessions Court yesterday to 105 charges of incest against his 15-year-old biological daughter. Now, the 46-year-old man was also charged with sodomizing his eldest child. Now, the accused made the plea before Kuala Terengganu Sessions Court Judge Nuria Osman, and he was alleged to have raped his daughter every day for 4 months at a house where the accused, the victim, and his 2 other sons, aged 12 and 13, lived. While the accused, who had divorced the victim's mother 11 years ago and was charged with committing the offences between 13 August 2019 and 26 November 2019 at his house in Kuala Berang. He was also charged with sodomizing the victim on 26 November 2019. Now, the accused was charged for incest under Section 376, subsection 3 of the Penal Code, which carries a maximum jail term of 30 years and a maximum of 10 strokes of the cane, and under Section 377C of the same Act for sodomy, which is punishable by a maximum of 20 years imprisonment and whipping if found guilty. Well, Deputy Public Prosecutor Zulfazilia Mahmud prosecuted while the accused was unrepresented. The Ministry of Rural Development intends to turn the Tuba Island in Langkawi into one of the rural tourism destinations for the northern states. Its Minister, Dato Sri Rina Muhammad Harun, said an allocation of 2 million ringgit will be allocated to develop the infrastructure there. Dato Sri Rina said Tuba Island is suitable to be developed into a rural tourism destination. She added that there were a number of tourism products already existed on the island that could attract tourists, including sea products such as corals that could be used as handicrafts, apart from keropok lekor, that's fish crackers, and fish farming that added value to the island.
Rumah, bayangkan satu pulau ni semua rumah mempunyai warna-warni dan karakter sendiri. Jadi dia jadi satu untuk tarikan pelancong datang ke sini. Tak perlu buat yang lain lagi, mana dari apa yang kita ada. So kita boleh bangunkan dari segi dekat sini hasil daripada laut itu. Bukan saja ikan dan keropok lekor, tapi koral. Banyak lagi hasil-hasil yang boleh kita bangunkan dan menjadikan satu kraft tangan.
She told this to reporters after attending Tuba Island Development Program. The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, in collaboration with the telecommunications industry, is implementing several simulation plans as preparation to face the flood season that currently affected a few states. Now, in its statement, MCMC said the simulation emphasized on the communications and post and couriers sectors to ensure a minimum impact on telecommunications assets and services, thus ensured connectivity during the flood. MCMC is also working with the post and courier sector to identify alternative locations for delivery and assets, human resources deployment, backup power supply and emergency supplies. It said among areas involved in the simulations were Bukit Tampin in Negeri Sembilan, Bukit Jelutong, Selangor, Fella Berabung, Pahang, Mak Mandin Jetty, Pulau Pinang, and MSU Shah Alam, Selangor. MCMC said a large-scale simulation was also held in Kemaman, Terengganu, in collaboration with the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, telecommunications industry, local agencies, and post and courier service providers. MCMC and telecommunications, post and courier players, for the first time, were working together on a mission of delivering humanitarian aid to flood victims on the East Coast. According to the statement, the mission, which was carried out in collaboration with NADMA, departed from Depot Simpanan Pertahanan in Sungai Buloh last Friday with 52 tons of supply for 5,000 flood victims. Sprinter Muhammad Haikal Hanafi was crowned Southeast Asia's Sprint King after winning the gold in the men's 100-meter final at the New Clark City Athletics Stadium in the Philippines yesterday. The 20-year-old Tunku Mahkota Ismail Sports School student hit the tape with a time of 10.35 seconds to win the Blue Ribbon event, in the process defending Malaysia's gold won by Khairul Hafiz Jantan on home soil in 2017. Thailand sprinters Suwon Rutanapon and Chongchai Bandit took the silver and bronze, recording 10.49 seconds and 10.52 seconds respectively. Muhammad Haikal Hanafi himself did not expect it. The absence of his coach from the SEA Games did not dampen his spirits as he obliterated a field of more established runners to claim the Sprint King title. Muhammad Haikal said it was a tight race with the two Thai runners breathing down his neck until he stepped up the tempo in the last few meters. Muhammad Haikal's victory meant that Malaysia maintained its stronghold in the 100-meter event. Well, the national team ended the second day of karate competition at the SEA Games with a gold and 3 silver medals yesterday. Well, the gold was delivered by P. Maduri in the women's kumite under 50 kilograms event with a 4-1 win over Thailand's Tipawan Kamsi at the World Trade Center in Manila. With tears of joy for Maduri, who admitted that the gold meant a lot to her personally as it was her first in the individual event. She also cited national karate queen Shakila Salni Jeffrey Krishnan, who prior to this had contested the same event as her mentor, who inspired her to the win.
What did I tell to myself is I can and I can do it. I know that I will win the game. Just believe on myself.
Sadly, Maduri's goal-winning feat could not inspire 3 other Malaysian exponents to do the same in their respective finals, ending their bouts as silver medalists. M. Mathivani, who had dominated the women's kumite under 61 kilograms in her earlier rounds, made one mistake at the end of a fight with Thailand's Am Sukyao that cost her the gold, eventually losing 2-3.
I think that I should have done something better, but it's alright, it's her day. And from my side, I think it's a good comeback after a few years gap to come back right now and deliver back for the country, yeah.
The other 2 silver were contributed by Muhammad Arif Afifuddin Abdul Malik in the men's kumite under 67 kilograms and the women's team event. And facing defending champion Supa Ngampuet Pit of Thailand, Muhammad Arif went down tamely 7-0. Malaysia also missed the chance of redeeming their 2017 edition loss to the women's team final after Kao Yi Vun, Chan Sin Yi and Soline Lee Zin Yi only managed 23.8 points to go down to Vietnamese exponents Nguyen Thi Puong, Thi Thu Nguyen Lu and Lee Thi Kan Lee, who amassed a total of 25.4 points. An explosive elbow jab to the face was all it took for teenager Revdeen Matsdur to give Malaysia an unexpected gold medal in Muay Thai in Subic. Now, at just 17 years of age, the SEA Games debutant showed he will be a force to be reckoned with by knocking out his opponent Solisay Singh Savath of Laos in the men's 45-kilogram final at the Subic Bay Convention Center yesterday. With his father, Matsdur Manan, watching, the Sarawak-born youngster claimed victory with a technical knockout, TKO, with just 4 seconds left in the second round. Revdeen took the first round 5-0. The blow was so powerful, his Laotian rival was later rushed to hospital for treatment. Revdeen had also taken out Filipino Kim Robert Miranda in a similar fashion in the semifinals on Saturday. He put the Filipino down to an 8 count, not once but twice in the first round before he was declared the winner on a referee's top contest decision. Revdeen, who is a world junior champion, said he was really motivated to win the gold medal for Malaysia in the presence of his father. Revdeen trains under Muay Thai coach Bernard Radin in Ipoh. Malaysia had another representative in the final, but Zulhimli Rosli settled for silver after losing the men's 48-kilogram final contest on a points decision to Thai Narupon Chitra. Well, there was no gold in the collection, but still, the Malaysian Fencing Federation, or MFF, is glad that the national squad surpassed expectations at the Games. Now, MFF President Rusni Abu Hassan said the 2 silver and 1 bronze won by the team had exceeded the target of 2 bronze medals. To reporters at the World Trade Center in Manila, Rusdi said 50% of the squad were new faces and still young, adding that MFF plan was to give them exposure and prepare them for the 2021 SEA Games in Hanoi. Malaysia failed to win any medal on the final day of fencing competition yesterday.
Tapi kali ini kira memang satu perkara yang boleh dibanggakan lah sebab pada asalnya kita hanya target 2 gangsa. Tapi dah berubah warna. Kita dapat 2 silver, 2 perak, 1 gangsa.
Rusney also said she was pleased with the performance of the fencers, especially senior athlete Joshua Koi-J. Joshua won silver in the men's individual EP to improve on his bronze-winning effort in the Kuala Lumpur Games 2 years ago. Rusney said, going by the progress shown by Joshua, the Kuala Lumpur athlete has a fair chance of qualifying for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. The pre-Olympics qualification will be held in Seoul, South Korea, after 15 April next year. Well, all good things must come to an end, and that applied quite painfully for the men's archery team at the 30th SEA Games in the Philippines yesterday after they failed to defend the recurve goal that Malaysia had won in the past 4 editions since 2011. Final held at Clark Parade Grounds, the national trio of Khairul Anwar Muhammad, Haziq Kamaruddin and Muhammad Zarif Shakir Zulkifli were edged out 4-5 in the tie-break by Indonesia, who had Arif Pangestu, Hendra Purnama and Ega Rial Salsabila in that team. The two teams were tied 4-all at the end of regulation, and Indonesia finally confirmed their win with a 29-27 point win in the shootout. The bronze was won by Thailand, who easily beat Vietnam 6-0. Khairul Anwar, when met by reporters after the event, said strong winds had affected their points tally today, while also admitting that it had been one of his worst SEA Games showings. Teammate Haziq shared his sentiments and added that the Indonesians had the better fortune today in the final. And with that, we conclude this afternoon's edition of News On 2. In our top story, Malaysia's progress, prosperity due to unity. Join us again at 7 p.m. for more updates on the latest happenings here and, of course, around the world. Thanks for joining us once again. I'm Carlos, and do stay tuned to TV2. Pleasant afternoon.